Doug McKnight here at Hatch Finders Fly Shop in Livingston, Montana. Next fly I'm going to tie for you guys is a sculpin pattern that I came up with a few years ago. It's tied on a jig hook. I get these jigs from Wapsie Fly Company, and it's a really nice mustad hook with obviously a lead jig head molded to it. And a lot of the jigs that you can find out there that are small, the hooks aren't very good, and these guys really, in my book, hit a home run making these jigs available to us to play around with. The first thing I do is take one of these jigs, and I'm going to take just some barred olive zonker strips, and I'm going to cut maybe about a 3-inch zonker strip. Just like that. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the point of the hook and just impale the back of that leather strip just like that. Now we're ready to put this in the vise. Really doesn't matter what color thread you use because it's going to get covered up by anything anyways. I'm just going to attach my thread right behind the jig. And then just slide the rabbit up, right up to the lead ball there. Cut it or wrap it with a couple of wraps, and take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap and put it right on that thread and follow it up with a couple of more wraps. Next, I'm going to take a different color rabbit strip. This is I believe this one's called it's kind of a tan color rabbit strip. And I'm going to cut maybe about an inch long piece of it and tie that in right on top. Just like that. Next, I'm going to tie in some olive-dyed pheasant back feathers. I'm going to grab a pair of them and trim those to maybe about an inch long. And these are going to be the fins of the sculpin. And we're just going to tie those in kind of slightly flat. One on one side, one on the other. It should almost come up to a tent shape. And then I'm going to tie in a little bit of rainbow colored crystal flash and cut about a 2-inch piece of it. Fold it over the thread and tie that in with that lighter colored rabbit. Next, I'm going to take some extra large monofilament dumbbell eyes and tie those right in, almost touching the ball up front. Couple of figure 8s. Then I'm going to go ahead and whip finish. We're not done with the fly yet, but we're done the tying portion. So whip finish that, maybe a little bit more Zap-A-Gap. Next, we're going to take a piece of real dark olive furry foam or black, and we cut it into maybe about a 1/2-inch wide strip. And I'm going to kind of double it over and form a little taco. And then kind of the next step, this piece of furry foam is going to go right over top of that lead ball and those eyes, and we're going to make those eyes pop out through the foam. So kind of step one is get your taco there trimmed to the right shape, which is maybe a ½ inch, slightly rectangle shape. And then I'm going to just take the scissors and round the ends, and then cut the other corners off, so you're just left with almost just kind of a shape just like that. And then next, I'm just going to place that piece of furry foam just like that, and just with your thumbnail you can make the eye of the hook kind of pop through, and then with your thumbnail again just kind of poke a little bit of a hole in that furry foam and just push that monofilament eye through there. All right, just like that. Now you can see our sculpin face there kind of showing itself. And then next we're going to take some Zap Goo, which is almost like a contact cement. When it dries, it still remains flexible, which is nice. I'm going to flip the fly over and maybe squeeze on there about a pea-size amount of Zap Goo. And then with a bodkin, just kind of spread that around a little bit. And maybe flip it over and lift up the foam, put a little bit back there. And then you just kind of make this piece join that piece there and just kind of squeeze it. And that Zap Goo is so sticky that once it touches, it should be good to go. Then a lot of times too, I'll spread these pheasant tail feather, or these pheasant feathers out a little bit. And then lastly, I'm going to take a black Sharpie and just hit those eyes, give them a little pupil. And if you want to, you can make the head darker, add some spots on there. And what this fly does, being that it's really heavy with that jig head built in there, you know, you can fish this in extremely heavy water and get down to the bottom where these sculpins live very, very quickly. You know, sometimes a count of 3, this fly is riding the bottom right where you should be fishing a sculpin imitation. And consequently, a lot of big fish up here in Montana and all through the West and on the East Coast too, where there are sculpins, you will find big fish that like to eat them. And tie this guy up. Don't hit yourself with it. You might want to wear a helmet, but take it out, and I think you'll find some bigger predator fish willing to eat this guy.